Well, let's take you back now to the continuing crisis in Iran in the wake of the elections there and the protests that are carrying on today. In fact, another big demonstration in Tehran we're hearing, with many tens of thousands of people on the streets, supporters of the opposition. Well, there are tough new restrictions imposed on the foreign media in Iran, including the BBC and our own correspondents there, mean that the internet and blogs have become increasingly important in the way we're finding out about what's going on inside Iran. So what exactly is happening there right now, and what are we hearing from Iranians themselves? We're going to talk to our interactive reporter Anna Adams, who's been looking through the internet and the social media in Iran. Anna, people are talking about the Twitter revolution, not that it's necessarily a revolution yet anyway, but certainly it seems that the younger supporters of the opposition are very savvy when it comes to using the internet and social networking sites and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Twitter, the micro-blog site that it is, you can put very instant updates, 140 characters to say what's going on, was very, very important. Yesterday, all the journalists were following it. It was the main tool, the main way of getting information out of Iran. That's changed today. We're seeing a lot of the tweets, as they're called, really tail off, and a lot of different Twitterers have been blocked, and it's proving very difficult then for people to get their information out. So what they're doing is maybe trying to ring people outside of Iran and get them to post things on Twitter. But the Iranians are an incredibly web-savvy and sophisticated nation when it comes to technology. They've got more bloggers there than any other country, and that was prior to the elections. So they are circumventing some of these issues by doing things like rerouting IP addresses to different countries, things like that. So they are very, very determined to get their message out there.
And in terms of the pictures, our reporter, John Lyne, is not allowed to go out and film at demonstrations, but we have been seeing pictures coming through from supporters of the opposition.
We've created the restrictions, as they would, have created a real strong army of so-called citizen journalists, and we've really been relying upon them as the way to get the pictures out. Now, this has come from YouTube. You can see there's a student here. Now, what's happening is they are being attacked here by the Basiji, which are the paramilitaries inside Iran. We can't verify these kind of footage beyond a doubt. It's impossible for us to do so from here. But we have been dealing with our colleagues from the BBC's Persian service, who say these reports tally with what they've also seen from inside Iraq. And they say the footage does appear to be genuine. They're very happy for it to be viewed as genuine footage. So it shows students here from Tehran University being attacked by the Basiji. You can hear gunfire at one point throughout the footage, and you can see the Basiji breaking into a dorm earlier on with batons. So it's quite compelling stuff, and we are seeing the most compelling stuff coming via sites like YouTube and the BBC's own website as well, where people can post their own images if they've got strong enough support on their websites, which is very difficult. The internet speed in Iran has slowed down to such that they can't get very basic emails out. So this kind of stuff is making up really the bulk of what we're seeing coming out of Iran. So not all the information's been blocked. We are still getting some.
Yeah, extraordinary footage there. And in terms of emails and so on, in terms of the hard information, what kind of emails have we been seeing?
Well, there's a broad range of emails. I have to say mostly opposition emails, which I suppose you have to set in the context of the fact that we are a Western news-gathering organisation, so we are going to attract pro-reformist views. But here are just a sample of some of them. This is from a student from the University of Shiraz who emailed to say, "Riot police surrounded our library. Some of these security forces seem to be militia. They beat you to die. The internet speed here is almost zero." Now, this one came via Twitter, much shorter. "Violence in Shiraz has been extreme. Very hard clampdown. Students beaten and arrested." This one's from someone called Ardashir, also in Tehran, saying that the protests won't stop until there is a re-election. He says, "We don't trust the Guardian Assembly. We want a rerun of the elections supervised by the independent parties. That's the only solution to the crisis." He's saying, now this is another one, also from the capital, an anonymous supporter of the president. He says, "Voting was perfectly fair and the president is the right man to be selected. It's good for my country and for Western countries." His view is very much in the minority, it has to be said, but despite the restrictions, these citizen journalists are still very determined to get the messages out here.
Yeah, so very interesting. Anna, thank you very much, and keep monitoring what's going on there in Iran for us.
Well, Iran students have borne the brunt of the authorities' crackdown. University accommodation blocks have been attacked by government militia in Tehran and other cities across the country. With me now are Ardavan Asadi, a member of the Iranian Student Society of London, and Sarnaz, who is in close contact with family and friends back in Tehran. Welcome to you both. Thanks very much indeed for coming in. Ardavan, to you first. How do you feel when you see those pictures that Anna was showing us there?
Oh, those pictures are the most disturbing pictures I've seen in the past 10-15 years that I've been watching the videos like involved in political things, and these videos just shows that this government is not the elected government by people, because if that was the case they wouldn't be killing people and hitting them in the streets.
Sarnaz, what are people back home saying to you? Does anyone have any faith in this election?
No, not from who I've spoken to. Everyone is disturbed by the images that we're getting. Emails, as Anna said, is intermittent, so the only way to get through to people is through email. Twitter, Facebook, and all those social networks are very difficult to maintain all the time. So what we're doing right now is trying to get whatever information we're getting from Iran and whatever we're getting from here, and then just distributing it to as many people as we can. And we are doing protests outside the embassies all over the world. Wherever there's Iranians, there have been loads of demonstrations going on.
Ardavan, we were hearing that the youth in Iran are very internet savvy. Why is that? Is that to do with them leading their day-to-day lives in the circumstances in which they do? Why are they so on it?
One of the reasons for that is because of the restrictions over the freedom. People tend to use internet as the basic information point, and they get information from all over the world, because, as you know, in Iran people are not allowed to have like satellites to get foreign agencies, news agencies. So internet is one of the basic things that they use, and the fact that the government interrupt the internet, it just shows that they want the world not to know what's happening in Iran. And can I just make one point? Mr. Mousavi been referred to as defeated candidate, and we're not, as Iranian people, we're not agreed that he's the cheated candidate. He's the one who's been cheated. He's not defeated, and just that small point, sorry.
Sarnaz, let's just talk a little bit more about the internet and the way people use it in Iran. The media, I suspect, also plays a role, does it? Because the media is somewhat limited. Then people are very used to using the internet all the time.
Absolutely, and you also have to remember that 70% of the population is under the age of 30, so these are young adults who their only form of communications and getting information from the West is through the internet.
And Ardavan, back to your point, what do you think that young people want now? We've spoken to people throughout the day who say that actually this is it's about much more than just this election, and this is years and years of frustration that we're now witnessing here on the streets of Tehran and other cities across Iran.
Yeah, that's partially true, but these demonstrations, I believe, is because people been cheated, and 85% of people, when they attended the election, they